Dr. Brook Beshah received his doctoral degree in international political communication from Leipzig University in September of 1997 as a foreigner studying in Germany shortly after reunification. Today, Brook will be speaking on his impressions of German reunification from an outsider perspective with his lecture titled Living German History, From Two States to One Nation, Observations of German Unity by an International PhD Student. Dr. Brook Beshah, everybody.
Thank you so much, Dr. Krister. You said this, the setting, that's great. Now what I would like to do is I'll base myself, make it personal. I want to share with you my experiences of living day-to-day German unity. Why? Because I was fortunate to have been there. You can call me lucky or for a historical accident, but I was there. And here again, what I would like to share with you is that I happen to have lived day to day and know the system, the two polarized system. I knew the East Germany, West Germany, when they were divided, as well as I know the unified Germany when I did my PhD. So that gave me, I'm curious, like all academics, researchers, that gave me, I think, some good leverage to share my testimony to you. So, how did I land in Germany of all places, guys? Think about it. It was the 80s. The Cold War was up the roof. It was heated. And my country of origin is an ancient biblical country called Ethiopia. And at that time, the regime was very radical, so much so that it was two to the left. So I, after finishing my bachelor's degree, I was retained as a teaching assistant, like some of you are here, and I began working on research on teaching assistants work and the like. At that time, like what LJ, what Bob Stewart and others are doing, we had established a linkage with the two universities, between Addis Ababa University, where I studied and working, and with at that time, Leipzig University. It used to be called Karl Marx University. That was how I was sent there. I was delegated. Yes, I was delegated to be there. Why? The opportunity of scholarship was there. I was chosen. I competed and I was chosen to go there. Now we have among us, allow me to welcome, Guten Tag, willkommen. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, yes. Yeah. Oh, okay. Good. Thank you. I would like to introduce our guest of honor. He is Consul General stationed in Chicago of the Federal Republic of Germany, Herrn Herbert Quelle. He is a very senior diplomat, and we are very honored and happy that you, from your busy schedule, you took the time to be with us. Thank you for coming. Indulge me. I would like to give you a bird's eye view of this very senior diplomat from Bundesrepublik Deutschland. His career goes back to the 1980s. So he started very early. He rose into the ranks of the diplomatic career. So much so, I'll just dwell on the top part. He was an ambassador in Azerbaijan. He had worked in Havana, Cuba, in London, in Los Angeles. He was the Consul General in Los Angeles, being responsible for the western states of the USA. He was also stationed in Boston. He was responsible for 9 or 10 American states. And now he's stationed in Chicago. He's responsible for the 13 Midwestern states of the USA, including that of Ohio. So welcome, Herrn Quelle. And he's going to be, and he is our guest of honor. On top of that, he's going to deliver his keynote address right after our lunch break, okay? Thank you, guys. Now, back to my, if I may. Thank you, LJ, for this. Yeah. So back to my, so I studied 2 months German in Addis Ababa University. Just dived into it. I know nothing about German language. And then I flew to Leipzig. My first encounter with the DDR, the Deutsche Demokratische Republik, is Germany. I was immediately sent, I and a group of students sent to Herder Institute, which is a counterpart of the Goethe Institute. Some of you might know that. And I learned 3 more months until May. And then September comes, like a person who doesn't know how to swim. They just let you go. So mind you, at a master's level, and given the German academic, rigorous academic system, in Ethiopia we follow the American model even today. But there it was rigorous, but I like challenges, and I took it with stride, I think, without frustration. So I think that helped me really prepare myself, adjust myself to this changing society, changing system. The language itself is difficult. German is very tough, as you know, and the level of education that I acquired was very high. So that's how I came to know that. And that gave me the chance to see the GDR. Why? I spent day to day with the elite professors, with the chosen students. That gave me a leverage to ask questions. Yes, I come from a developing country, but I know the two camps existing. I know how they confront each other, how they are rivals. But that didn't prevent me to ask questions. And I was first surprised was the German culture of tolerance. Even it's socialism, yes, but we were tolerated to criticize the system. That also was good for my liking. So want to give you a picture of life. How was life in East Germany? Was it all gloom and gray? Yes, it was gray to some extent, but not that so. How was life? Expensive or cheap? My God. I have come with a figure. Only one thing I'll let you know. You know how much as a master's and PhD student I was paying for a good apartment? 10 GDR mark. That will be at that time what? 2 or 3, the mighty Deutsche Mark, the mighty West German mark and the East German mark. It is nothing. Food, transportation, with 3-4 the GDR mark, you can travel to Berlin, anywhere. Life was really secure. That was what I was about. And how did the students and the people take it? They felt really secured. Call it from cradle to grave. Of course, the quality of life, you cannot measure it with West Germany. The comforts and the quality of life, mark my word. But still, if you are geared towards Spartan life, so to speak, basic fulfillment of your basic necessities, it was a really perfect society. How about the students? When they are a third-year student, they already know, as an engineer, as a medical student, as a nurse, where they will be working. Already they know that. Okay? How about life after lectures, in the evenings? You know the German culture, yeah? Culture of socializing, beer drinking, student clubs. That is the place to be in. Lots of debates are going on. The young people are really critical of their own system, socialism. They were saying already that socialism should have a human face. We feel suffocated. So I was involved and talking up with my German classmates and friends. And then the media and how the people in Germany, East Germany, felt at that time. Believe it or not, they loved America. They loved American music. They loved American Hollywood movies, but with a critical spin. I always appreciated and admired how they look at things, having a global view of things. They had more perception. I'm not saying that the West Germans don't know anything. They had more perception about global things like hunger, crisis, peace and war, security, what's going on in Nicaragua, what's going on here and there. They were more, at that time, I found it to be more knowledgeable about what's going on in the world. But here again, with a Marxist-Leninist spin, of course. How did they view the West Germany? That they were proud Germans. They looked at West Germans as their own brothers. We watched West German TV, and then switched immediately the next second to East German, and then you feel the contrast, of course. But the point is, the same language, the same people, but artificial division. Every day we used to watch German TV, West German, ARD, Zweite Deutsches Fernsehen, Bayerisches Rundfunk, everything, music, radio, and then we have also at that time the DDR 1, DDR 2. They also have their own programs, but some really critical programs were also aired. Now, culture, media and film. They used to also, like the Polish, the Hungarians used to have critical films, social critic-based kinds of interesting films. Another culture of the East Germany was love of music, love of Beethoven, Mozart, Thomas Chor, all the classical German giants. We used to go to the opera with just 5 DDR mark. It might cost you now, I don't know, 50, 100 euros, I don't know. Yeah, so that's also the issue. Now, I happen to be at a fascinating point in that, thank you, in that when President Reagan said, tear down this wall, Mr. Gorbachev, I was there. Not in West Berlin, but I was on the other side. And that became a big thing. It all started in '85 when Gorbachev came to power and began to implement his glasnost and perestroika policy. That was not well taken by the ruling party of East Germany, the SED. So already the young generation and the older ones were fighting among each other. And at the university, believe it or not, the young were ready for reform. We were discussing in class about it. They said that whoever comes late will be bestrafen, will be what? Penalized, punished. So we should what? Start our reform, just like other socialists, like even the Russians did. And as you know, that became the time when the GDR began to go down. Because Gorbachev, leave alone East Germany, he refused to assist the Cubans and other socialist-oriented countries. And before you know it, Hungary, Poland, Czechoslovakia, they began to rise up. And next, it was the turn in 1989 of the German, East Germans, when they began to go to Hungary and then they began to go what? Ask for visas and began to jump to West Germany. So I was really there and I was fortunate to have seen this phenomena. Now, in 2 minutes then, the second part of my life, and that is I went back here again. I was fortunate after Germany was reunited. It was fantastic in '92. There I had observed the economic, political, social process of, and the toughness and the difficulty of bringing two people speaking the same language together with all the rancor and irritations. And also, I had also the experience of how one educational system was put aside and another West Americanized system was put into place. For me, I'm used to it, so no problem. But I saw how professors were being irritated, how they felt they were put aside. I had to wait for almost a year to get a West German professor to be my doctor father. Why? Because from the East German side, they were all pushed aside for whatever reason. So that also created some kind of, shall I say, irritation. But here again, the debate continued. Everybody was for one united Germany, but they were debating how that unity should have been done so. Too fast, too little, or confederation for a certain time and then join again, or let's drop everything and join again. And at that time, of course, it was decided by policymakers that the two would come together, and it was accepted by the majority of East Germans, but still there were some kind of reservations by some corners. So all this, I had the luxury of indulging in the debates and observing how it was the reunification process was going on. So some cliches, I would like to leave you with some cliches, which, by the way, I criticize harshly. Some part of the Germany calls the other part as materialistic, bureaucratic, superficial, arrogant. Others say that we feel we are second-class citizens. The debates, these are the highlights of the debate. Some say that the OCs and the VCs, too soon an integration. Why shouldn't we take steps to reintegrate with each other so that it's going to be smooth? So such kinds of feelings were expressed in the media. The hype, how it is presented by an expert is different from what is presented by a layman, a common citizen. So one has to really balance out how the real picture is. But one thing is for sure, with every passing year, Germans are united. Germans have become prouder, have become stronger, have become more democratic. And proof of this is the role of Germany, what Germany plays now. I remember, I'll give you one anecdote. Whenever the Olympics played, East Germans are for East Germany until East Germany loses. And guess what? After East Germany loses, they will rout for whom? For West Germany. You could hear it in Berlin, which I used to go every week. You could hear when a big event happens, when they shout both West and East Germany, separated by the artificial wall. This tells you that there were political circumstances that divided one people into two, but throughout the 45 years differences, they were still one people. So thank you for your attention and thank you for your generous time. Yeah.